remember that they're changing my voice. So this video is about how organized rape cults have historically run America and the West, and to a large degree the world. Not all throughout history, but in more recent history. Now, there's also indigenous kind of rape by deception. It's a story for another day, but this video is about the San Bernardino mass shooting, part 3. So to make a long story short, the Highland Park shooter, Robert Crimo, right, Crimo, he dressed up like a female and he resembles ISIS. And he also resembles the female who came to visit me, who was part Pakistani and part Iranian. And the female from the San Bernardino mass shooting at San Bernardino Regional Hospital was Pakistani, and she looked very similar to her. She kind of looked like a mix between Robert Crimo and that female. Now, if you're confused about why this is happening, let me give you some wordplay that's going to clarify it. Basically, everyone who hears this wordplay, they know that it's true. So in the word vampire, you have the word vamp, right? So quite often they don't see their mirror. It's said that they don't see their reflection in the mirror. It's said that, they sleep upside down like a bat at times. They seduce people, right? Sex cult, rape cult stuff. They suck blood. It has to do with when you're in the reproductive cycles, how you become more and more undead as well. It's like a metaphor, a comparison. And the word vampire is the word airy in it, and vampires with an S is airy, right? Which is referring to vamping the Spirit of God, the Spirit of Christ, right? Because Eri in Igbo mythology is the son of God. Eri is the son of God. In Egyptian mythology, the son of the sun symbolizing God, the sun Ra. And of course, by now you know that the Abrahamic faiths have failed the world, and they're playing a stupid propaganda game. No offense, just kicking the ballistics here. And the word Abraham has the word Ham in it because they've coded in what they're superimposing things on, like their false image of Christ, which they keep putting again and again everywhere. Why do they keep putting that false image? Because that false image is basically a vampire image. Now, vampires are mythological creatures. Again, they're mythological creatures, but they're based on the idea of Greco-Roman people, Jewish people, LGBT people, token minorities, what have you, in cults. And quite often they're rich, and that's not a coincidence as well. Dracula, draw, see, you lay. Road, okay, see, you lay, and so on and so forth. You get the DR for the doctor. They doctor the evidence. Okay, psychiatrist shrinks. When they suck someone's blood, their body shrinks. They shrink into the form of a bat, and so on and so forth. Now, bat is also an Egyptian deity who is said to be on the Narmer palette. And on the Narmer palette, you have Narmer, who is basically what they based one of the most common pictures of Osiris in ancient Egypt on. On Narmer, on the Narmer palette, you have the white crown of Upper Egypt, which is the bottom half because the Nile flows south to north. Okay, and he doesn't have the red crown because he united the lands on behalf of the white crown, on behalf of his cult center, Nekhen, and the Aswan governorate in southern Egypt. So Dracula, when you think about how he lays in his coffin, is very much related to the story of Osiris in his coffin. Osiris is called the Lord of the Black, and they superimpose things on Dracula. The way you see him look, he's based on Set. Quite often, you have these kind of Italians, these Jews with black hair, Spaniards, what have you, and they were associated with the Setians, right? They're the ones who kind of championed their cause in Rome, and whoever else, whatever hell color they had, what have you, but he's depicted as having black hair, right? Dracula, quite often. And we have that white face paint, which is commonly associated for the undead, right? The dead spirits, the evil spirits, like in the Addams Family, vampires in general, what have you. And so you have, it's also playing words for the V being an arrow pointing down, the down umpire. So that they're known for kind of sleeping upside down because they do God's plan in reverse. They turn things upside down, right? In Hebrew, Ra means evil. And in the Bible it says, woe to you, call good evil and evil good. But nonetheless, in Psalm 19, you see that the sun is the symbol of God and the bridegroom. It's a short chapter. I suggest you read it many times to get a good feel for why I'm right about this. The champion, the bridegroom, the top martial artist, the son of God, the skywalker coming down from the heavens. Sky, law, core, Ka, walker, walking with God, Ka meaning spirit, and so on and so forth. So you have the arrow pointing down in the umpire, the down umpire, and it goes back to the game that they're playing, the checkered floor. Freemasonry connects to this. Okay, where the white, instead of it being the light of God, it's more like the white on Dracula's face. Okay, so what happened in one of these stories, and I want to make this brief here. So Isis is said to be the wife of Osiris in the Osirian mysteries, which came after Horus was said to be the son of God, and then around the 4th dynasty, if I remember correctly, he became the son of Ra in some kind of ritual. But he's always the son of God, the archetype of Pharaoh. And most of the pharaohs, if not all of them, had a Horus name as a result, even Setian pharaohs, because Set conceded the point. The whole world, so to speak, at the time, the whole known world conceded the point. And that represented the greatness and the righteousness of God in human form. You know, the idea of Horus, Pharaoh, the fair reproductive cycle. So in the story, basically Set, one of the stories, there's many stories of how Set betrays Osiris. In one of them, he gets him to try on a coffin, and he nails it into a coffin, and he throws it into some body of water. It's been a while. And the water, you know, is said to wash up in Phoenicia or something. You have the Phoenician Canaanite system. They're basically LGBT people. It's very much connected to Sodom and Gomorrah. It's connected to the phoenix bird in Greece, which they often try to connect to the Ben bird of Egypt. And of course, Mockingbird, Mock King Bird. Project Mockingbird, the CIA experiment with the news. So now, I'm trying to move quick here because for a lot of reasons here. If you have any questions, put in the comments here. Okay, so that coffin connects to that coffin. But Osiris in the Osirian mysteries is basically a very benevolent and righteous martial art king who gets betrayed by his brother. Now, in some of the older versions of who Horus is, some versions he's the brother of Osiris and Set. In some versions he's the son of Osiris and he's the nephew of Set. Set is his uncle. Okay, I don't think it's a coincidence the word Ankh is like the word uncle, and you have El, El, the satanic Canaanite deity, who is said by a lot of occultists try to say that he's actually the quote-unquote God of the Bible, but he's not. He's the devil that is superimposing himself on the God of the Bible, just like Baal. Baal, whose Greek counterpart is Zeus. And his Roman counterpart is Jupiter, Jupiter, right? Juju being West African witchcraft, like voodoo, hoodoo, what have you. Now, this stuff that springs up from West Africa. Now, you have, I said, okay, so Set is the Egyptian equivalent of Zeus and Baal and Jupiter. So with that being said, there's a lot of connections there. Okay, same with werewolves. Where's the wolf? The wolf was a symbol of the Roman people, as was the eagle. The eagle was a symbol of Rome. Eagle is also a symbol of Zeus. It's also said by the top expert to be a sissy symbol of Babylon. Yes, I'm the top expert. Right, the eagle, Ea being Enki, another name for Enki. Ea Gol, Eag, G being the earth deity in Roman mythology, and El. That's not a coincidence either. Okay, and of course the eagle of America, and so on and so forth. And who would have thought America is corrupt? Why is ICE allowed to go on the rampage? Why did Joe Biden do a bad job? Obama did a bad job. Bush, Clinton. Why did they all do bad jobs? Because they're in the boundaries of the customs of the Babylonian system. That's why these Rasta guys and countless other groups were going on and on about how America's part of Babylon's system. And Crowley, I believe it was, said America's the new Egypt. And he wasn't talking about an Egypt led by Narmer, a.k.a. Mene, a.k.a. main alpha. It's an Egypt led by Set, the settler. Settle down. Okay, set the stage, set up. Whites is a play on words for why set. Now, you can't let your race determine your destiny, but you must understand that the people who are the progenitors of your modern racial culture, okay, they absolutely intend to make white people evil and to keep them evil. And so you have the word black as a play on words for block and be lack. And what language is it? It's in it's in a Latin-rooted language, and Latin goes back to Rome, and Rome is a play on words for more, okay? And Ram-E, like Mars, the Roman deity of war, his name scrambled as Rams. And it connects to the Greek deity Ares, who's superimposed on Eri, being the martial art soul of the Son of God. Eri is basically my soul.